beginning is a very delicate time. In this time, the most precious substance in the universe is
the protein of animals. The protein extends life.
Hidden away are a people known as
the carnivore,
who have long held a prophecy that a man would come,
Messiah,
who would lead them to true freedom. The planet is Arrakis, also known as
beef. Hello and welcome back to the channel. We have another video by Sean Baker. Now this one is a study about meat eaters and meat eaters supposedly living longer. So let's see what he has to say.
This is another study that, as you guys remember earlier today, I produced a study that just came out looking at the correlation between vegetable consumption and heart disease. And this was, again, out of Oxford University. 400,000 members in that study, 18,000 of which had some sort of heart disease, and they found basically no protective advantage whatsoever to eating lots of vegetables, which a lot of people will be surprised about and think they believe that eating vegetables is a key to health.
So we have the first half of the coin here, right? The narrative that we always hear is that you got to eat lots of fruits and vegetables for your health and for your heart health. I mean, I'm sure we'd probably, if we go to the doctor and ask them, any heart doctor, we would probably hear that advice. So this study, though, that he's going to talk about here is going to talk about the other side of that coin, and that's eating meat, right? And whether that's associated with health or not.
And I would argue that vegetables, when they replace junk food, are a net benefit, but they are not in themselves providing long life or improved health, except where they're replaced with junk food. Now, let's look at the other side of the equation, the meat. So this is another study, brand new study. This came out of Australia, out of Adelaide, University of Adelaide, Australia. And they looked at every single country, almost every single country in the world, 170 plus countries. And they looked at rates of meat consumption and longevity. And what did they find? They found the countries that ate the most meat had the people that lived the longest. Now, the typical, and this isn't the first study to show things like that, but the typical sort of criticism of that, well, those countries are rich and all that stuff. Well, they controlled for factors like wealth and other things, access to healthcare and so on and so forth. Despite controlling for all those things, higher amounts of meat consumption resulted in longer life expectancies across the board in every single country in the world, essentially.
All right, so let's dive into this a little bit more. So from this article, which was in the adelaide.edu.au. The article is titled, Meat Eating Extends Human Life Expectancy Worldwide. Quote from the story is, meat of small and large animals provided optimal nutrition to our ancestors who developed genetic, physiological, and morphological adaptation to eating meat products, and we have inherited those adaptations. And that is absolutely true, right? It's a part of our genetics. You can look at isotope analysis of Paleolithic man and see that a predominant portion of their diet was coming from animal-based foods. So we can see that. We know that. We don't know an exact percent, but we know it was basically that they were more in line with carnivores than they were with herbivores or even omnivores. So we're seeing that they leaned heavily on meat. The next part of this, there is another quote from this article. Studies looking into the diets of wealthy, highly educated communities are looking at people who have the purchasing power and the knowledge to select plant-based diets that access the full nutrients normally contained in meat. Essentially, they have replaced meat with all the same nutrition meat provides. Now, I'm not saying that you can do this or that you can't do this. There are obviously factors that you have to account for. when you're replacing meat with vegetables, and just remembering that these things don't have the same bioavailability, they don't have the same absorption. There may be incomplete proteins in the vegetables or wherever you're getting your protein sources if they're coming from vegetable or vegan sources. And so it does require more effort. It requires products that are sometimes carefully designed to provide a complete protein, meaning it contains all of the essential amino acids. That doesn't mean that that getting those non-essential amino acids through our diet is a waste. It's just one less thing our body has to take care of, right? So if we're providing our body with not just the essential, but even all of the non-essential amino acids, then that's less work that our body has to do, right? Those amino acids are already going to be in the form that our body is expecting to see and that it can utilize right away without any conversions. So that said, right, I think this gives some insight into that half of the coin, that side of the argument about vegetables, fruits and vegetables, and eating a vegetarian or vegan diet. Now, important point that Dr. Baker made was, these can be healthier than junk food, right? And absolutely, I mean, who wouldn't agree with that? That, the fruits and vegetables are going to be healthier and more in line with, what our primal ancestors would have seen compared to, say, some sort of processed, industrialized junk food, right? So those are things that we haven't seen, haven't been a part of our diet for millions of years in any form or fashion, and our bodies really struggle to sort of keep up with them, right? So high fructose corn syrup, for example, is something that we would have had access to fructose in small amounts in the form of fruit. So it's in a food matrix of fruit. It's bound to fiber, right? Bound to pectin. And it takes a long time to break it down. And so the absorption is slower versus having a refined fructose in a liquid form in a beverage, which your body readily absorbs. It hits the body very quickly. And then suddenly your liver has this massive amount of fructose that it has to process very quickly. And that definitely puts a different amount of strain on the liver than, say, eating a strawberry. So, no, sorry, a can of Coke and a strawberry are not the same thing, right? And, that's coming from someone, I don't equate all forms of fructose, right? I am looking at fructose and saying, what form's it in? Is it something that we might have had access to 100,000, 200,000, 500,000, a million years ago? Soda? No. Strawberries? Yes. Honey? Yes. Does that mean I eat all of these things? No. Like I don't remember the last time I had any honey. It's been a long, long, long time. And I do have berries occasionally now and then, right? I don't see that is, in my opinion, aligned with a primal lifestyle. So a primal lifestyle that's based around animal foods, but still has other foods in it as well. So that's just my personal diet, though. So, but it is interesting. Another great study, and I think a very important article. So if you get a chance to go out and read this article, you can go and check it out. The title again of the article is "Meat Eating Extends Human Life Expectancy Worldwide," and that is at the adelaide.edu.au website. Just another interesting study that has come out that Dr. Baker has highlighted this week. Again, if you like this kind of information, you like this contextual discussion of these studies, then these videos, then please go like and subscribe so that we can build this channel and continue to bring content like this. Thank you.